Well, that was certainly a way to start the new year. I'm Joe Rentham with my review of WWE NXT. It is New Year's Evil, and there was some good to great takeover-worthy shit, and there was also some stuff that made me question how the fuck this made air. Even the producer didn't fucking like it. He will sound off during this review like he always does. Dexter Lumis is in control since I don't have a Dexter Lumis shirt. I had to wear my Sam Shaw shirt. I like Sam Shaw, Dexter Lumis. I don't understand how he doesn't blink. It's fucking insane how he manages to not blink. Blink, you crazy bastard. Please blink. He's, playing with the lights and everything. It's like, oh, shiny, pretty, all this. Like, let me just do this. And, man, I'm trying to get this to work. And why isn't it working? And, there's a press your luck whammy on this switch here that says on, off. Click. And then suddenly everything's spoopy and everything. And it's New Year's Evil. Not to be confused with the 1980s slasher movie that wasn't very good. I mean, and that's putting it mildly. It was pretty goddamn shit. We get Damian Priest versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett. I like Kross's entrance. Priest has grown on me. I was totally wrong about when they signed Punishment Martinez. I was like, oh god, really? Not that he's bad, but he didn't do anything for me. I called him Baron Corbin Light when he first debuted on NXT TV, and I'm happy to say that I was totally fucking wrong. I was proven wrong. I'll eat crow about that. Damian Priest has been one of the big bright spots of NXT. They did some good shit here. Priest had bad ribs, and Kross targeted those. But Priest also targeted the previously separated shoulder of Karrion Kross, and that was some good shit. Targeting that arm. Keep doing that. And Kross takes over for a bit. Priest does come back with a nice razor's edge, and does a dive outside. He hits different moves. The way he does his kicks, the way he does his strikes, his dives, he makes it work for a man his size. And Kross is also really good. I've seen him wrestle live twice, just before he signed with NXT. And Kross does a nice powerbomb for two, throws Priest's ribs first into the truss, and then onto the steps. Somehow that doesn't cause a DQ. Priest is like, oh, is that all you got, bitch? He calls him a bad word. So then the Saito suplex. And man, let me tell you right now, when you get fisted in the back of the head, when you get fisted from behind, you are going to stay down for 3. And Priest does. And Kross wins. I think Priest is going to show up in the Rumble. I think he's getting called up from NXT because I don't know how you come back from this. And whether he's on Raw or SmackDown, give him at least 15 minutes in the Rumble, have him eliminate a few people. Priest is the guy that Vince is going to have to love. He looks like a star, carries himself like a star, talks like a star. He really just, can carry a lot. He can carry a lot of good matches here. He can get a lot of good out of a lot of, Raw and SmackDown. He can juice up whichever brand. Just don't fucking water him down. Just let him be him. And then we have the Dusty Classic Cup, whatever they're calling it. Dusty Classic, Dusty Cup. The tag team tournament things they're doing, where they have some teams and then makeshift teams, like Dusty always did. And it's, they announced some of the teams. Undisputed Era, Cole and Strong, Everrise, Breezango, Kurt Stallion, and August Gray. No idea who Kurt Stallion is. Nothing against the guy, I just have no idea who he is. Maverick and Dane, Imperium, Bartel and Eichner. And then more teams get announced a little bit later. Grizzled Young Veterans actually get announced that they're going to be part of it. And then we get Cole and Strong talking about facing Breezango next week and how O'Reilly will beat Finn Balor tonight. Yeah, about that. We then get Grand Metalik with Lince Dorado versus Escobar with Lego del Phantasm members Wild and Mendoza. The Cruiserweight Championship, look, they're doing what they can to juice up the Cruiserweight division and the championship, and both these guys are premier athletes. I didn't give two flying fucks about this. I really fucking didn't. Metalik hit a moonsault outside where he just crashed his knee right into Escobar. It looked like he really knocked him silly. Escobar does some nice groundwork. Metalik does nearly crash and burn doing a dive later. Dive by Escobar, and Metalik's mask, gets all loosened, and that's going to be his out, so he can get, he can want revenge on Escobar, because Escobar will do everything to keep the Cruiserweight Championship. And then Phantom Driver 1, 2, 3. It was well wrestled. I just didn't care. Here's what I'm going to say. Hey, hold up a second. I got to come and get you. Come here. So, for those that aren't familiar, this is Sir, and I'm going to have Sir be part of this review. So, you did not like, you were upset at what Mercedes Martinez said because you like Io, and I like Io, but I think Mercedes Martinez delivered her promo pretty goddamn well. So I think, hey, hi, I think that Mercedes did a pretty good job. Now, what did you think of Karen Q, potentially Karen Q being the grudge ghost in every Japanese horror villain of the last 20 years? She had the dark hair and the weird look and everything, and you just look like you want to kill me right now. But yeah, you had all these vignettes, all this torture porn, and all this stuff that they did with Xia Li and Boa being beaten. You didn't understand what was going on. You were getting a little bit annoyed, like you're getting annoyed right now. Xia Li and Boa getting beaten and tortured and everything, and now they're, battle-hardened warriors. Yeah, see, yeah, you get it. You don't even want me to quote it because you actually think that they were supposed to be battle-hardened warriors. You think kayfabe's alive. And what they kept doing is they kept doing this stuff for months, or for like seemingly months. I think it was like only like maybe 6 weeks. They kept doing this stuff, and then Pat Morita's reanimated body is not there anymore. I guess seemingly he vanished into dust, and now you have the Grudge Ghost just yelling and everything. Like you are so annoyed. Xia Li debuts a new look, and she just she's a beautiful woman, and she's very talented. I just don't think this is going to work because they did all this shit. Now, okay, she has a cool look and everything. And she took on Katarina Cortez, who I think was that woman, the masked woman they had teamed with Sin Cara for a little bit, against Andrade and Zelina. Remember that? Where it was like really awkward and kind of odd. But anyway, Xia Li kicks her head off. And then her and Boa bow by the Grudge Ghost that doesn't do anything. It just sits on the throne. It's like, Sullivan, my son! You remember the Dungeon of Doom. You were looking at me like, why the hell did you watch this when you were younger? You hate me. Anyway, let's put you down here. So anyway, let's take a look at that. The whole point is I don't get what they're doing with Xia Li's look. Enjoy the kitty tail. I don't understand what they're doing with Xia Li here. I wish her nothing but the best, and seriously, I do think Xia Li has a future. I don't know if this is necessarily going to work. But anyway, whatever. That's not even what I hated on this. I was so numb to this stuff that unless they had Xia Li go out there and just like absolutely kill like 3 women at once, I mean, not literally, I don't know what else they could have gotten done to get me interested. Now, there's supposed to be a fight pit match, but Thatcher apparently had a minor injury while training, and they couldn't, in good conscience, basically, green light him. You can't give him the green light because he's not ready to go. So they're going to have that match at some point. Okay, cool. Have it at TakeOver. They're going to have a Valentine's Day TakeOver. St. Valentine's Day Massacre with a fight pit? I think it's a pretty good idea. Bring back St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Bronson Reed, by the way, is just standing there suddenly. Mackenzie, in a very shiny dress, is talking to Bronson, and Bronson said he's had to sit home with injuries, and he picks Rhea to win this next match. Damn it, Bronson, you cursed it. You cursed it. I'm not going to be mad at you because you're obviously talented enough to squash me if you want to. Raquel Gonzalez versus Rhea Ripley, last woman standing match. Former friends fisting each other instantly. Man, I mean, the former friends that fist together don't stay together because then they would be friends and not former. They would be more than friends. This has gotten weird on me. They were doing some good shit here, though. Both these women are talented. Kind of wish Raquel was a little bit smarter with how she saw things. But as far as athletes, these 2 women are really goddamn talented. And Rhea Ripley's a fucking star. She's been beaten a lot, though. Like, a lot. And that's what happened here. And I mean, sometimes she'll win, but it's like, it seems like she never wins the big one. Ever since that whole bullshit at Mania 36 with Charlotte where Rhea should have won and she didn't, and it was fucking crap. Anyway, we get weapons out, a kendo stick, a chair shot to Rhea when she tries to do a drop kick. That was pretty cool. Rhea handcuffs Raquel. Moving on. Raquel, after getting beaten down for a bit, rips off part of the fence that she's handcuffed to and is hitting Rhea with it, almost like a barbed wire fist. But the way they did it was actually pretty goddamn good. And then, it's more like, and then, Rhea hits the ring bell, more like Rhea, my bell. He went to sleep at that joke. That's how bored he is. Backdrop onto the announcer's table. That looked pretty goddamn brutal. Raquel piles stuff on Rhea, but she beats the count. We go to the stage. Rhea gets knocked off into the back. And at one point, Rhea just tosses Raquel into a door that it was either pre-gimmicked or whatever. But boy, if it wasn't pre-gimmicked, that's something. It was, obviously. But the door glass shatters. Senton off of something through a table. And then suddenly Dakota comes in to help. And man, okay, she gets hit with a locker door because Rhea decides to take over and knock Raquel away and then beat up Dakota after hitting her with a kendo stick a few times. She hits her with a lot of locker door shots and then stuffs her in a locker. Look, I like the idea of Rhea stuffing Dakota, but not necessarily in this sense. And always, kids, remember to delete your search history. So what they end up doing, pretty good stuff here. We get the cloverleaf using a chair to try and choke Raquel. So Dakota's seemingly locked in that locker still. Glitchy wall spot where Raquel lands on her goddamn head. And they have a good back and forth. The steps are on the stage for some reason. And then there's a pre-gimmick part where Raquel hits her one-arm powerbomb through the stage. And they're both, it's like the Taz, Bam Bam Bigelow stuff where they fell through the ramp and stuff like that, or through the ring and whatever. There's been gimmicks like that done for a while, but that's a pretty memorable one. One of the few memorable things in the later days of ECW. And then Raquel gets back up to her feet just in time to beat the count. I was a bit surprised Raquel won. I'm not mad. I'm just a bit surprised. And then we have the Garganos being escorted by police. More police than there were to help out the Capitol building. That fucking horseshit. Also the Garganos, I'm sorry. I have nothing against the Garganos as people. I have nothing against Johnny Gargano. I have nothing against Candice. I have nothing against... Well, Austin Theory is another story. I have nothing against Indy. I think Indy's got a very bright future. But this whole The Way thing, people say it's referencing The Mandalorian. I've never seen one episode of The Mandalorian. Apparently it's good. I have no interest in it. That doesn't mean that anybody that watches it is bad. It's taken over the world because people love Star Wars. At least most people. I like Star Wars. Just haven't had a chance to watch it. So anyway, have I mentioned I can't stand the Gargano, this whole gimmick? I can't stand it. I have now instituted a fucking rule that I don't think I'm going to be able to endure anything the Garganos do, and I may just have to just blitz through it. They annoy me so much. They don't do funny comedy. None of it works. They aren't interesting. I don't care if they win or lose a match. I just don't want to see them on my TV. Gargano is very good in the ring. Candice is very good in the ring. Theory is good. He's a creep, but he's good. And Indy, I don't know what they're doing with this group, and we don't need a stable for the sake of it. The comedy wasn't good. This went on forever. It was as bad as what the Street Profits do, but at least the Street Profits used to be entertaining. Anything the Garganos have tried to do just has fallen flat. Absolutely goddamn flat. The Gargano and Theory are in the Dusty Cup. Great. Now I have even less interest in the Dusty, Cup tournament. And a drawing of them as superheroes, I will say right now that them being, superheroes, the 2015 version of the Fantastic Four, they were more believable superheroes than these guys. It just doesn't fucking work to me. This is one of the worst things that I've seen on any wrestling broadcast. Broadcast, that is. WWE, AEW, doesn't fucking matter. They aren't fucking interesting. And I nearly shut it off. I nearly said, that's it. I'm not watching NXT again. This was fucking abysmal. If people like it, that's fine. I don't wish anything bad to happen to Gargano or Candice. Seriously, I don't wish anything bad to happen to them. They just aren't fucking interesting. And it's fucking revolting. It's just revolting to watch this goddamn shit. Let me bring my cat back on. Hey. Okay, fine. You don't want to be on here? Fine. Anyway, he's not very happy with that. So here's the whole point. I was going to bring him back on here to lighten the mood because Shotzi shows up, and I love Shotzi. She has her tank, and she shoots Austin Theory in the dick with a beanbag. Get over here. Get over here. Get over here. Shoots him in the dick with a goddamn beanbag. Can you fucking believe it? Shoots him in the goddamn dick with a beanbag. With a beanbag. Hey, you're going to get some cooked chicken in a bit. Anyway, enjoy the kitty tail there. So, that's all I wanted to do. Alright. Yeah, here's Kushida. And then Loomis rings the bell and then points. And we have a mixed tag match. And Kushida rolls up Gargano to win. I am not going to justify or dignify anything that Johnny Gargano and Candice do in the ring until I get less annoyed with their character. I just can't do it. I already see enough annoying stuff on AEW and New Japan television as far as their shows. Same with Raw and SmackDown. Now Bad Comedy has gotten into NXT and has taken over like just a freaking like brain slug. It's just so goddamn annoying. Anyway, yeah, just whatever. Get the title off of Gargano. Give it to Kushida. Not that the North American Championship means anything anyway, but it is what it is. Valentine's Takeover, cool. It is what it is. I ain't gonna do shit on Valentine's Day. I'll fucking watch it. And then we get Regal's announcement. It's gonna be a Dusty Classic for the women. Cool, good. Maybe you can actually, get the fucking tag titles off of Asuka and Charlotte. At least off of Charlotte, and give Asuka a better partner. And then we get Balor and O'Reilly, NXT title match. All I'm going to say about this is go and watch this. I'm not going to get into too many details here because it was really good, as you would expect. Great wrestling. Balor targeting the jaw of O'Reilly after O'Reilly had broken his jaw previously. And it was just really good stuff. O'Reilly, very good on the ground. Very good strikes. The MMA background, the training he's done. Fabulous, pace to it. Heel hook by O'Reilly, but then Balor targets the jaw, kept targeting the jaw. Suplex, brainbuster afterwards, but just for two, and then the armbar to the ropes, and a liver shot to O'Reilly. Oh no, he's down. And then Balor's bleeding, and he was bleeding from the eye, and then he gets a stretch, and Balor gets the victory. So there you go. I'm not going to crumple these notes up, despite the fact that the Gargano shit, nearly made me turn it off. But it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, I would bring the producer back on here, but he is looking at me like he is going to cut my throat right after this, somehow. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.